Even more, according to Benton, the Ourang Medan may have been smuggling nerve gas or even more insidious biological weapons manufactured by a sinister assembly of Japanese scientists. According to widely circulated reports, in June of 1947, multiple ships traversing the trade routes of the Straits of Malacca, which is located between the sun-drenched shores of Sumatra and Malaysia, claimed to have picked up a series of SOS distress signals. The unknown ship's message was as simple as it was disturbing. All officers, including captain, are dead, lying in chart room and bridge. Possibly the whole crew is dead. This communication was followed by a burst of indecipherable Morse code. Then a final grim message. I die. This cryptic proclamation was followed by a tomb-like silence. Before we head into today's story, guys, if you are new to our channel, please consider to hit that red button and subscribe to our channel and turn on all the notifications by pressing the bell icon so that you will never miss any of our weekly uploads. The chilling distress call was picked up by two American ships as well as British and Dutch listening posts. The men manning these posts managed to triangulate the source of these broadcasts and deduced that they were likely emanating from a Dutch freighter known as SS Ourang Medan, which was navigating the Straits of Malacca. A conscripted American merchant ship called the Silver Star was the closest to the presumed location of the Ourang Medan. Originally Santa Cecilia by the Grace Line, the vessel had been renamed the Silver Star when the United States Maritime Commission drafted it in 1946. Noting the terrified urgency in the message that came over the airwaves, the captain and the crew of the Silver Star wasted no time in changing their course in an effort to assist the apparently incapacitated. Within hours, the Silver Star caught sight of the Ourang Medan, rising and falling in the choppy waters of the Malacca Strait. As the merchant craft neared the ill-omened vessel, the crew noticed that there was no sign of life on the deck. The Americans attempted to hail the Dutch crew to no avail. That's when the captain of Silver Star decided to assemble a boarding party. As they left the safe haven of Silver Star, these unfortunate souls had no idea that they were about to walk into a living nightmare. As soon as they boarded the Ourang Medan, the men swiftly realized that the distress calls were not an exaggeration. The decks of the vessel were littered with the corpses of the Dutch crew, their eyes wide, their arms grasping at unseen things, their faces twisted into revolting visages of agony and horror. Even the ship's dog was dead, its once intimidating snarl frozen into a ghastly grimace. The boarding party found the captain's remains on the bridge, while his officers' cadavers were strewn about the wheelhouse and chart room. The communications officer was still at his post, as dead as the rest, his fingertips resting on the telegraph. All of the corpses, according to reports, bore the same terrified, wide-eyed expressions as the crew on deck. Below deck, search party members found cadres of corpses in the boiler room, but almost as disturbing as this grim find was the fact that the American crew members claimed to have felt an extreme chill in the bottom of their hearts, even though the temperature outside was scorching 110 Fahrenheit. While the search team could see clear evidence that the crew of Ourang Medan suffered profoundly at the moment of their deaths, they could find no evidence of injury or foul play on the swiftly decaying corpses, nor could they spy any damage to the ship itself. The captain of the Silver Star decided that they would tether themselves to the Ourang Medan and tow it back to the port. But as soon as the crew attached the tow line to the Dutch ship, they noticed ominous billows of smoke pouring up from the lower decks, in specific the number 4 hold. The boarding party scarcely had a chance to cut the tow line and make it back to the Silver Star before the Ourang Medan exploded with such tremendous force that it lifted herself from the water and swiftly sank. The crew watched the Dutch vessel disappear beneath the depths, no doubt breathing deep sighs of relief that the tow line had not dragged them into the sea as well. The watery grave that claimed the Ourang Medan effectively removed the freighter from the surface of the earth and forced it directly into the realm of myths and legends. This, of course, has made it one of the most enduring and intriguing maritime mysteries of the modern age, leaving us to ask the most basic question: what happened to Ourang Medan? While rumors about the Silver Star's grisly discovery circulated widely along the trade routes of the East Indies, the first official account of the event would not be printed until May of 1952 in the form of the Proceedings of the Merchant Marine Council, which was published by the US States Coast Guard. A testimony therein described the alarming state of the Dutch crewmen, even going so far as to state their frozen faces were upturned to the sun, staring as if in fear, the mouths were gaping open. The first problem with trying to ascertain what happened to this now infamous Dutch freighter is the fact that there doesn't seem to be any official records that it ever existed in the first place. We know that the Silver Star was real, although by 1947 it had been reacquired by the Grace Line Shipping, who dubbed the vessel Santa Juana, but there is no paper trail leading to the Ourang Medan. Some researchers have speculated that if the Ourang Medan was a genuine ship, that it likely hailed from Sumatra, which at the time was a colony of Netherlands, in what was referred to as the Dutch East Indies. Ourang is Indonesian for man, and Medan is the biggest city on the island of Sumatra, which would designate this enigmatic freighter the man from Medan. But while the etymology of the name might give some clue as to its origin, there are no bureaucratic records of the Ourang Medan. Author and historian Roy Benton, who has done some of the most exhaustive and revealing investigation on the subject of the SS Ourang Medan, made dead end in his pursuit of the true story of the death ship. First he went to the usual sources, but was unable to find any mention of the ship in Lloyd's shipping registers or the dictionary of the disasters at sea. Then he contacted the United Kingdom, the Registrar of the Shipping and Seamen, and the National Maritime Museum in Greenwich, all of whom told that the only place to check Dutch shipping records was in Amsterdam. Benton searched the Dutch records as well, but to no avail. Just as he was about to give up his investigation and write the whole thing just an old sailor's yarn, Benton was contacted by Professor Theodor of Essen, Germany, who had been pursuing the case for better part of 50 years and was the first to reveal the names of the two American ships that had heard the Ourang Medan's SOS calls. Professor Theodor also led Benton to a 32-page German booklet written in 1954 by the name Death Ship in the South Sea. It seemed to know a lot about the Ourang Medan's route, cargo, tonnage, and engine power, and even allegedly the captain's name. Even more, according to Benton, the Ourang Medan may have been smuggling nerve gas or even more insidious biological weapons manufactured by a sinister assembly of Japanese scientists whose experiments were so heinous that many of the atrocities perpetrated by the Nazis in the name of science pale by comparison. This diabolical faction was referred as Unit 731. So that's it folks for the today's video. Please let me know in the comments what you think about today's episode. And guys, if you are new to our channel, please consider to hit that red button and subscribe to our channel and turn on all the notifications by pressing the bell icon so that you will never miss any of our weekly uploads. Till then, take care.